Couple of blocks. Any injuries that I need to know about? Let me just mute you guys and get going. Okay, come and sit up on your mats. Morning, Lucinda, nice to see you. Comfortable cross-leg position. Spend a moment or two just feeling your sit bones, right? Maybe rock from one sort of bottom cheek to the other. Pull your bum out slightly behind you. And then when you settle down, it's almost like a three-pronged stool, your undercarriage, right? You've got your two sit bones and you've got the tailbone. This kind of nice tripod. So just feel like you've stacked yourself beautifully on top of your bottom. A very small retraction of the chin, so the base of the skull sits over the tailbone. And then begin to draw your attention inwards and slow your breaths down. What quality of breath would feel good for you this morning? In fact, what quality of practice would feel good for you this morning? That's going to be our intent. What's the right choice for you as you move on your mat this morning? The right choices. And in order to answer that question, you just have to have a little sense of yourself this morning, physically, emotionally. And sometimes your practice is a bit like, it's a collaborative approach. You have to kind of, you deal with what you've got going on, but you're helpful rather than hindering that process. So maybe you need to be a little slower this morning. Maybe you need a boost of energy. What's the right choice? Take your right hand onto your low belly, right? So this is your more intuitive area of your body, your gut. And then place your left hand on your heart center. So your heart is more an emotional area where you can tap into some other kind of feelings which might be going on. And just take slow breaths into both of these areas and have a little feel around. What's going on? Forrest always says that doing a yoga practice, a Forrest yoga practice, is a bit like having a really honest conversation with yourself. I quite like that. At least be honest with yourself. Let's do 3 Shivananda breaths. Take a slow inhale, no rush. When you're full to the brim, hold your breath and choose how long you hold your breath for. It's not a competition. What feels appropriate? Soften the shoulder blades and then maybe exhale out, gently pressing the belly in. Do 2 more rounds. Inhaling, hold. Exhaling fully, start again. No rush. What do each of the stages feel like for you? Which bits do you find more enjoyable. And when you've done the last one, just breathe in and out and feel for some more space. Just for yourself. Very softly remove the hands from the torso and blink your eyes open and come back to the room. Let's start in Baddha Konasana and do a hip opener. So soles of the feet together. You could still be sitting on something that props you up a tiny bit. Soften out the thighs a little bit by pressing. If you notice you're a little collapsed, definitely put something underneath your bottom. Take your left hand to the side of your hip and take your right hand and near the top of the thigh, sort of grab a handful of your thigh, lock out your arm so you push the thigh bone down and away from you, and then just lean towards the left. So it feels quite a lot. I want you to think about the choice that you make here on your dosage. So you want to be pushing so that you feel the stretch, but also taking your breath into the right side of the hip, the waist. And let your hip flexor go, because it will be gripping, thinking, I know what to do. I can stop this. Maybe it's your left hip that's popped up. Really have to concentrate on letting them go. Soften the jaw. Hips and jaw love to kind of do things in tandem. Slightly change the torso position. Move your left hand behind the line of the body. Re-straighten your right arm. Inhale, lift your chest. Slightly twist and dip towards the left thigh. Still pressing your right thigh away from you. It's like you're scooping out the hip socket. Chin softens to chest, more breath, right? Choose wisely on the pace of your breathing. Notice what the soles of your feet are doing. A little more activity there. And then gently release the right hand and come all the way back up to straight, and we'll swap it out. So the right hand goes to the side of your hip, left hand, a little awkward, you sort of grab a handful of thigh, lock and push out, pressing the thigh down, lean a little bit towards the right. And then breathing is a challenge, find your breath. I always think when you press into the hips like this, it's quite reactive, right? There's quite a lot of, ooh, that sort of thing going on. Takes a few breaths to soothe yourself so you don't panic about the pose. What does that feel like? Your capacity to do that to yourself. Sigh out. Move your right hand slightly behind the hip. Re-straighten your left arm. Inhale, lift your belly button away from pubic bone. Twist and dip towards the right thigh. Keep pressing the heel of your hand firmly into your left thigh. You're tractioning it forwards and away. Back of the skull soften. Take some really big breaths now. What space is available? And then very gently release the hand, come back up to straight. Take your hands to outside edge of your thighs and draw them together and just shake them out. And then step your legs into a straddle. So come a little wider. Flex your feet and really feel your tailbone and sit bones kind of pop out almost behind you. Take a really big breath in, two arms go up. Twist and turn to face your right leg and bring your hands down. Let's do a forward fold here. Inhale, lengthen the front of the ribs. Pressing through the balls of the feet, fold forwards gently, right? Go in stages. Every inhale, an opportunity to lengthen. Exhale, press forwards. What's the right dosage for you right now? Where do you need to expand the breath and allow for more softness? What's still gripping? Like, what's holding you back? Belly softens, chin dips to chest. Let the shoulder blades relax. Keep some press through the ball of the foot, both feet. And then very slowly inhale, come all the way back up. Let's do the other side. Take a long inhale, two arms go up. Feel like the waistline extends. Twist and turn to the left. Hands float down. Take a ballooning breath forwards and up. And then just fold across your left thigh. Go slowly. Keep taking the inhales to lengthen. And then just see where you get to. Sometimes that's all you can do in a pose, right? Just see where you get to. You don't have to have in mind a kind of look for the pose, a destination. It's like, what's happening on the way down? Are you still in tune with what's going on? Slowly breathe upwards, inhale. Very nice. Take the legs back out, shake them out. Let's lie down and do some abs. We'll do elbow to knee with a thigh traction. So come and lie on your backs. Do have, actually, because we will move into a block nearby, so something to grab onto that's not too far away. Pick your feet up off the floor and bend your knees, right? So you've got this sort of lovely right angled position. Interlace your hands, place them behind the base of the head, elbows wrap. Take a slow breath in, really feel where it moves into back ribs. Hold the breath. Curl the tailbone, flattening the back. As you exhale, reach to left thigh. Extend your right leg out 45 degrees. Wrap your shoulders, pull your belly down. Inhale back to center, knees bent. Hold the breath, flatten low back. Exhale, curl towards the right thigh. Lengthen the left leg. Get the dosage right in abs, right? You need to feel them, but you also need to be not pulling and yanking. Inhale back to center, soften the jaw. Hold the breath, flatten low back. Exhale, reach elbow tips towards the left, extend your right leg out. Ball of foot presses away, look at the ceiling. Inhale back to center, full breath. Hold the breath, flatten low back. Exhale, reach to right thigh, left leg, extends away. Take your shoulder blades up and wrap as you pull your belly down. Inhale back to center, moving into the thigh traction. Hold the breath, flatten low back. Exhale, elbows reach to left thigh. Take the right leg straight up to the ceiling. Finish your exhale, wrap your shoulders. Listen up, take a full breath in, release your right hand. Grab a handful of your right thigh near the socket. As you exhale, traction your thigh up, push hand into thigh, thigh into hand, pull your belly down. Inhale, release, hands behind the head, knees stacked. Hold the breath, flatten low back. Exhale, reach to right thigh, left leg straight up. Finish your exhale, wrap your right shoulder blade higher. Take a full breath in, left hand grabs the top of left thigh. Exhaling, lift the fleshy part of your thigh up, push hand into thigh, thigh into hand, belly down. Inhale back to center, hands behind the head. Hold the breath, flatten low back. Exhale, elbows to left thigh, right leg straight up to ceiling. Finish breathing out, push your belly down. Now take a whole new inhale. Right hand grabs the right thigh. As you exhale, traction it up. Lift your toes to the ceiling, pull belly down. Don't stop breathing. Inhale back to center, hands behind the head. Last one. Hold the breath, flatten low back. Exhale, reach elbows to right thigh, left leg up. Lift your right shoulder blade, pull your belly down. Take a full inhale. Left hand grabs the left top of thigh. As you exhale, lift the thigh, wrap your shoulders, pull belly down. Release, feet down, head, shoulders down. Take one hand on your low belly, one hand on your heart center, just how we began. Check in. What's going on? What's the immediate sensation in your body after abs, apart from relief, obviously? You're kind of like, oh, thank God that's over. You feel a little more fizzy, a little more connected to the body. And I think you need to view this as a real positive if that's what you feel. It's like you suddenly turn the on switch on. Move your hands away and grab the block and place it between your inner thighs down on the pubic bone. Reach your two legs straight up to ceiling. If your hamstrings are tight, a little softness in the knees. Do the opposite interlace with your hands. Wrap your elbows up. Take a full breath in. Let's do abs with a prop. Hold the breath, squeeze the prop, flatten low back. As you exhale, lift two elbows up, curl your tailbone, press your belly button flat to mat. Inhale, everything releases. Take a slow breath. Hold the breath, squeeze the prop between your inner thighs, flatten low back. As you exhale, two elbows up, tailbone, tiny lift, press your belly downwards. No pulling on the neck. Inhale, release, get the breath right. Hold the breath, squeeze the prop between your inner thighs. As you exhale, lift your elbows, curl your tailbone, press your energy through the low belly. Inhale, release, big breath, neck is relaxed. Hold the breath, squeeze the prop. Exhale, curl tailbone, wrap your elbows and shoulders upwards, pull belly down. Inhale, release, two more to go. Hold the breath, squeeze the prop. Exhale, lift your elbows, curl your tail. Feel for extending through your armpits. Inhale, relax, big breath. Hold the breath, squeeze the prop between your inner thighs. As you exhale, lift your elbows, feet go up, press your belly down. And then very slowly release on an inhale, head, shoulders down, feet down. Move the brick to one side. Come back into Baddha Konasana. Put one hand on top of each hip crest. Close your eyes. Feel the soles of your feet pressed together with a little retraction near the toes. Soft breaths, right? Just the right dosage, just the right quality of breath. Open and close the mouth. Let the jaw go. And then bring your hands to outside edge of thighs, press them together. Let's come into bridge pose. Tuck the feet up to the butt, stroke the heels. Take your hands to side of body. A long, slow inhale as you feel your low back flatten. And then as you exhale, undulate upwards, pressing your hips to ceiling. And then you get up, adjust, right? Find the right dosage for your bridge pose. If your legs are a little disconnected, fire them up. Squeeze the sit bones, maybe even stick your hands to underside of glutes to know that that's going on. If your knees spread wide open, think about magnetically drawing them to the midline a little bit, not much. And then think about how big you can make your breathing. Press through the arch of your foot, lift your hips 1 centimeter higher. Driving through the front of your thighs, press them forwards and down. Let the jaw go because it's beginning to heat up a little bit now. We feel the kind of pressure of the energy. Soften the shoulders. 3 more breaths. You can do this. Where's your connection to your bum? What feels good as you lift the front ribs away from the waistline? What's the right choice? What's the right thought process, the story? Come out of the pose slowly, tuck your tail, really feel your glutes stick to your hamstrings as you exhale, slowly lower, top back, tuck tail, mid back, tuck tail, low back. Ooh, lovely flat back, just relish that for the moment. The good choice here is just to not do anything, just for a moment, breathe. How easily do you choose that option, right? Do no thing, just for a few beats. And there's no crisis to move you forwards to the next stage. Just take this moment in. And then really slowly roll onto one side. Doesn't matter which. Don't rush your coming up bit. Brilliant. Okay, let's come onto all fours. Stick a prop back between your inner thighs. So we've got some awareness of the legs. It could be a roll or a brick, doesn't really matter which. And let's do turbo puppy moving into turbo dog. So take your hands a little forward of the shoulder line. Notice the block or the roll between your inner thighs and just squeeze your thighs onto it and then let go of it. Squeeze, let go. I mean, not too much. Like what's the right level? And then bend your elbows and hover them just above the floor. Again, squeeze the prop gently and then release it. And then find a sort of subtle turn on, nothing too big. Hang the head. Take a ballooning breath into upper back ribs. Press your palms to the mat and then wrap your elbows in. That's where the pose really takes its energy from. The wrapping, so you feel your pecs activate a circle of energy around the inner arm line. And just keep breathing. Curl your toes, squeeze the prop between your inner thighs, straighten your legs, turbo dog. And then really use the prop, right? Squeeze onto it to lift, to hike your butt a little peakier. Press through the balls of the feet, elbows draw together. Shake out the head. Get the elbows drawing in. Take your rib cage as a unit on an inhale up to the ceiling. Don't slump into your shoulders. And then very slowly lower the knees. That's nice. Take the prop from between the inner thighs. Come down onto your forearms for dolphin. Grab a handful of bicep and pivot on your elbow tips. Place your hands to the mat. Hang the head. Balloon into upper back. Elbows energetically draw together. Feel your turbo dog echo. Curl the toes, straighten the legs. Dolphin. So find your breath, right? Roll your breath upwards, away from the shoulders. Soften the back of the neck. Put weight into your right foot. On a steady inhale, raise the left leg up. Feel for separating your legs as wide apart as they'll go. Your version of splits in down dog, breathe. Slightly squeeze the left buttock, open the thigh more. Back of the neck is soft. As you exhale, scoop the belly, lower the left leg down. Let's do the other side. If you need a pause in between, come to your knees. Inhale, right leg raises up. 2 forearms dent the mat. Spread your legs as wide apart as they can go. First thing in the morning, squeezing your right buttock. Scoop the belly, exhale, exhale, exhale. Lower all the way down. Knees come to mat. Come up onto your hands. In a tabletop position, let's just do some cat-cow tilts. Inhale, lower the belly. Feel for softness around the core. And then as you exhale, undulate up, pressing into armpits, scooping the back body. Come down, inhale, lower. Exhale, undulate up, really noticing the quality of the pose, right? It's not rushing, you're not just going through the motions. What does it actually feel like? What's the right choice in this pose in terms of your concentration, maybe? Oh, had a really nice click in my back. One of the good ones. Come back to neutral. Hands a little forward of shoulders, curl the toes, down dog. Pedal out your feet and feel your calves stretch. And then take a really big step forwards with your left foot. Come into straddle forward fold. So face the long edge of your mat, pigeon your toes, and hang down the midline. Take your hands and glide them down the outside edge of the legs, and then take a hold of your ankles or your calves quite firmly and pull your chest through to the legs. Hang the back of the skull. Elbows might bend as you draw your torso to the middle of the legs. Take a long breath into your low back, your sacrum, but also feel the backs of the legs, the inner thighs stretching out. In fact, squeeze your sit bones together as you're upside down and then release them. Do that again. Squeeze your sit bones, release. Do it one more time. Squeeze sit bones. It's like you're tapping into the top of the hamstring as well. And then release. Bend your knees a lot. Put your hands on your hips. Come all the way up. Ooh, chopped in half. Let's do suns. Come and stand at the front of your mats. If you need a bit of extra padding for knees or you want to turn your music on, do that. Have near the front of the mat a block, 2 blocks maybe even. Just grab that one. Bring your hands at heart center. A really long breath in. Notice where it moves. In fact, where do you want it to move? It would feel really kind of good. On an inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, fold forward, soften the knees. Lunge, left leg behind, knee down. Breathe, extend your arms upwards. Feel the top of your left foot on the mat. Exhale, 2 hands down, plank, step back. Inhale, lift your belly, tuck your tailbone. Exhaling, knees, chest, come all the way to the floor. Low cobra, awareness in the length of your legs, lift your ribs. Exhale, pull your belly forwards and down. Down dog. Lunge, left leg forwards, right knee to mat. Inhale, telescope the ribs up. Exhale, float to forward fold. Notice your feet, inhale, press upwards. Exhale, hands at heart center. Let's go again. Inhale, reach your fingertips. Fold forwards. Open the mouth. Right leg lunges, step it back. Take a really long breath. Feel the pathway of the breath. As you exhale, 2 hands to mat, plank, step back. Lift your core, no dip in the low back. Exhale, knees, chest, modified chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra. Lift your front ribs up and away. Exhale, lengthen, reset, down dog. Lunge, right leg forwards, left knee to mat. Feel for lifting some space into your waist. Exhale, forward fold. Come all the way up, inhale. Exhale, hands up. Let's go again, inhale, reach the arms. Fold forwards all the way down. Step your left leg back, lower the knee. Inhale, low lunge. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. I want you to find your range, right? So ask yourself, what's the right choice? What's the right dosage? And if you sink through the left hip, activate the left buttock so you've got support and your tailbone is long. Press the top of your left foot through the floor and feel for a lot of stuff going on in the front of your left thigh. And then soften the shoulders and breathe. Front foot also active, supporting you. Release the hands, step back into plank. Take a full breath, scoop your belly, knees, chest, come all the way down on an exhale. Inhale, low cobra, reach your toes away from you. Exhale, lengthen the belly forwards and down. Down dog. Lunge, left leg forwards, right knee to mat. Breathe upwards, feel for extending space into side ribs. And then your range of motion, whatever's available, and it changes, right? One day you think, oh, my hips are really tight. Maybe they don't do that now. This flexor, this front of hip, press your foot down and activate the bum so you really support the stretch. Notice other parts of you, right? When your legs and your hips are working, soften the upper body. Float the hands down, forward fold, exhale out. Root to rise, come all the way up. Exhale, hands up high. Let's go again. Inhale, telescope ribs. Fold forwards, soften the jaw. Right leg steps back, knee to mat. Keep your hands framing your left foot. Here's the little flow we're going to do, right? We're going to take an inhale and sort of plunge our pubic bone towards the left heel. And then as we exhale, we're just going to straighten the front leg and shift the butt back. So you come into sort of a hamstring stretch, half splits. Inhale, press yourself forward. If you can't reach with your fingertips to the mat, put your hands on 2 blocks. Exhale, press back. Keep the foot attached to the mat, press your bum back. Inhale, come forwards. What's available in the right front of thigh? Exhale, press back. Press through the length of your left hamstring. Last one, inhale. Rock forwards, lift the chest slightly. Exhale, press back. Float back to neutral, step back into plank. Inhale, lift your core. Exhale, knees, chest, come all the way down. Low cobra, inhale. Exhale, down dog. Step the right foot forwards, low lunge. Keep the hands framing the right foot, maybe they're on blocks. As you inhale, let your left thigh move forwards, slightly lift your chest. Exhale, press back. That right leg lengthens and you feel a hamstring opening. Inhale, forwards, low lunge. Exhale, press back. Really feel for the flow matching the breath. Inhale, let yourself feel the front edge of your left hip. Exhale, press back. Last one, inhale, come forwards. Tops of the feet, the tops of the foot on the back foot, pressing through. Exhale, hamstring stretch. Float to neutral. Left foot comes to front of mat, forward fold. And a slow inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, hands up. Into chair pose. Sink the bottom low, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold, straighten the legs. Halfway lift, inhale, long flat back. Step or hop to plank. Inhale, lift up through the core. As you exhale, modified chaturanga, knees, chest, all the way down. Low cobra, feel for lifting the front ribs and activating your legs. Exhale, down dog. Step your left foot forwards for warrior two. Front foot straight, back foot at 90 degrees. Come all the way up. Let's do this. Extended warrior with chest opener. Float your left elbow onto the left thigh and feel like you're pressing into the elbow so you can lift your ribs slightly away from the thigh line. Let the head go. Chest opener. So sweep the arm up, put a bend in your elbow, and then reach your arm behind you. Let the head soften. Feel for pressing through the outside edge of your right little toe on the right foot. So you really notice this sort of opening across the outside edge of the right thigh. Soften the jaw, lean back a little bit into the pose. And then deepen the left knee bend. So you're noticing that the legs can do a lot more than you think. Come out of the pose, float the top hand down. Two hands to inner edge of left foot. Mancoon lizard, hop onto the ball of the back right foot and press very deliberately that leg into full length. So the heel of the right foot pressing away from you. Your arms might be straight. Take an inhale, lift your ribs forwards. And then as you exhale, you could start to bend the elbows, just see where you get to, lowering the hips and the back as one flat unit. If bending the elbows is too much, keep them straight. Maybe you go even lower. You've got a block and you can put your elbows on the block. Left knee draws to left shoulder. There is a lot of stretch going on around the thigh and the hip socket on the left side. Not to mention your right quad stretching away from you. Feel like your feet rip the mat apart. They're so connected. They're so energized into the floor. Shake out the head. Two hands on the mat, straighten the arms, step back into plank. Inhale, lift your core. Exhale, knees, chest, come all the way down. Inhale, low cobra, long breath through the front ribs. Exhale, down dog. Right foot steps forward, extended warrior variation with chest opener. So you're in warrior two. Your right elbow lays itself on the right knee thigh, and you use this to lift out of yourself. Let the head soften. Take your arm behind you, slightly bend the elbow and open your chest. What's the breath choice here? What's the right dosage of breath that could flush this pose with a little more, I don't know, connection, but also softness? Sometimes we come into poses and we are just gripping and we're like waiting for it to be over. much more interesting to be curious about what's going on. Fire up those legs more. Feel the little left toe pressed to the mat, inner thighs active. Lean back so your heart center opens. Float 2 hands down to inside edge of right foot. Step back with the left foot, come onto the ball of it. Long leg, right? Pressing through the thigh and the calf, Mancoon lizard. Inhale, chest, collarbones puff. As you exhale, lower, maybe bending the elbows a little more down. The bum comes with you, right? So the hips and the bum also lower down. That's where you get the intensity in the thigh and the hip. Right knee draws to right shoulder, breathe bigger. Maybe you need tons of breath and you're just not letting yourself have it. Shake out the back of the head. Keep that left leg solid, solid, solid. It's not hanging and flopping. 2 hands on the mat, straighten the arms, plank, step back. Inhale, lift your core, tuck tail, knees, chest, come all the way down. Low cobra, inhale. Exhale, down dog. Take 3 breaths in down dog and feel for the difference as you pedal out the feet in the backs of your legs, because we've already begun a process of really stretching through the leg muscles, right? So just, be aware of that. Step your left foot forwards for a high lunge. So it's ball of back foot, come all the way up. Hips face the short edge of the mat. Again, this feeling that we had in Mancoon, you press through the back leg, but you also tilt under your pelvis a little bit. Bring your arms into goddess. Feel for both feet. On an inhale, reach the arms to the ceiling, straighten your front leg. And then as you exhale, come back into high lunge, goddess arms. Here's the flow. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, come down. Feel for tucking the tailbone. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, soften the shoulders, goddess arms. Last one, inhale. Amazing. Put your hands on your hips and then hop your back foot in a little bit and place it down on the mat and straighten your legs for pyramid. So you've got this stance where you're in a triangular shape with the hip bones facing forwards. Inhale. On a slow breath with a long back, hinge at the hips, come to halfway down. Pause, right? Everyone place one hand on top of the other on top of left thigh. And then puff your chest forwards like you come out of your upper back curl and you lengthen. Feel the hamstring and squeeze gently the left sit bone to top of hamstring. You can stay here or walk down the leg. This is where the blocks are really nice. 2 blocks, one on either side of the left foot. They can be at a low level. You might not need the blocks, fingertips might reach, but keep this breath, right? Inhaling through the crown of the head. As you exhale, soften the belly. When you get to your range of motion, and that's the right dosage, right? It's not pushing, you're not forcing it. Let your neck and your shoulders relax. So your shoulder blades almost hang down. Keep squeezing the left glute into the top of the left hamstring. A little squeeze around the sit bone area. Let the belly go. What's the right choice of breath here? Big sigh out. Move some space into the front of the hip, maybe bending the left knee and step back into down dog. Wrap your shoulders, feel for lifting your bum. And then notice as you pedal out the difference between the right and the left leg. Maybe there isn't a difference, but maybe you notice it. Other side, step the right foot forwards for high lunge. You're on the ball of the back left foot, come all the way up. Feel for pressing the leg away from you and tucking your tail. Chest is risen, right? So you have this space around the diaphragm. Goddess arms. Take a really big inhale, lift the hands, straighten the front leg. Exhale, when you come down, really feel for pressing through the legs, right? So they're kind of really with you. Inhale. Exhale, shoulder blades draw down and away. Inhale, rise up. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Ooh, got wobbly. Exhale. Hands on hips. Pop your back foot in for a foot reset, pyramid. Inhale. Exhale with this lovely length. I always think this is so kind of pleasing, right? The quality of the length. 2 hands to top of thigh, just to kind of get that sense of popping your collarbones forwards. You're kind of mini cobraing. And then you can go lower, right? We're always rushing to get low and to do the end bit. So many good bits on the way down. It's not about what the pose looks like. What does it feel like? How connected are you to all the stages? Back of the skull softens. Really think about squeezing the right buttock into the top of the hamstring. So you're actively stretching rather than hanging in your flexibility. Really different. There is tone to both legs. The quad muscles are partially engaged. So you're not just thinking about the back of the right leg. Lots of other things involved, but now you soften your shoulders. And you choose wisely in terms of your breath pattern. Let it go, soften it out. Big sigh. Two hands on the mat, step back into down dog. Pedal out the feet, notice the backs of the legs, a little different. Last vignette, step the left foot forwards and come into standing split. So you put weight into the left foot, your fingertips frame it. You might bend the right back leg and then float the right leg straight up. So suddenly there's a lot of weight bearing on the left leg, but you are ready for it because your breath is with you. You hang the head, squeeze through the hamstring and the quad. That right leg, how high can it go, right? I know it's a lot of effort, but think about the quality of the connection. Bigger breaths, you might need them. Feel the ball of the right foot press upwards. And then slowly float this leg down, land it. Bring your right knee to the mat for half splits. Okay, so we did this in the little flow. You might need some extra padding under the right knee. Take a blanket or fold your mat. And we'll start it from an upright position. So you've got a solid base with your tailbone and glute activated. Take the heel of the left leg straight out in front of you. Hands on the hips, inhale. Start to fold forwards, maybe even walking your hands down the thigh. The blocks here are really nice, right? Because they provide some stability as well. And you can use multi-level blocks. What tends to happen here is people curl into their back and try to get their head to their knee. It's really not that. Please don't do that. Lift your chest, inhale. And then see where you get to. For nomads, as this is called, press now through the ball of the left foot and see if you can take the left foot as flat to the mat as it will go. So you get a shin stretch. On your next inhale, lift your belly button away from the pubic bone forwards. Really think about that. And then exhale, fold and let the chin soften to the chest. Notice your breathing, right? So we're not going into full splits today. We're just really relishing being in half splits and what it feels like. Because sometimes the right choice is not to go to the end of the pose. Otherwise we might miss some of the middle bits. How much softness can you bring into the belly? To come out of the pose, lift up. A little awkward, almost maybe grab the left foot and step it behind you and step into down dog. Ooh, pedal out the feet. Back of my left leg feels like you've grown about 3 inches. Step your right foot forwards for standing splits. Frame the foot. On a float, take the left leg to the ceiling as you power your breath into the right standing leg. Let the ribs lengthen forwards and down as you hang the head. Where's your attention to detail? Can you feel the left ball of foot? If you press into the right foot more, what happens to your quad and your thigh? So this super connection, pretty much from right toe to left toe, all the way through the groin. Breathe. A slow float takes the left leg behind you. Pad out the left knee, bring it to the mat. Come up for a moment. You're in a very upright position with a lot of stability through the legs. Walk the left heel forwards, straighten the leg. Inhale. And then slowly come into forward fold. Do it with grace, right? There's something about moving in a way that kind of honors the move. It means you're thinking about it, most importantly. Where's your right hip in relation to your left hip? Draw it back slightly in space and draw the left hip forwards. Keep lifting the front ribs on the inhales and then folding on the exhale. Let's do nomad. So press now through the ball of the right foot. Get that whole foot as close to the mat as it will go. I'm slightly cut off on the screen. There we go. Press the foot forwards. And then we're just going to take the breaths, right? Because being here for one breath, you know, whatever. Once you get to 3 to 5 breaths, everything starts to feel different. Squeeze, a little squeeze of right buttock, sit bone into the top of the hamstring. Don't just let your stretch pull you. Have some control over it. Let the belly soften over the right thigh fully. Shake out the head. Slowly come out of the pose. Step your right leg behind you. So you're in all fours for a moment. Curl the toes, straighten the legs. And then walk your feet to join your hands at the front of the mat. You're in a forward fold, soften the knees. And then just hang down a moment. Let it all hang out. Your hamstrings should feel a lot, maybe even straighten the legs quite a lot here compared to normal, but go with your breath. Bend your knees and then slowly come up to straight, all the way to the standing position. Ooh, a bit dizzy. Okay, let's do this. For the final bit, let's come into straddle, because now we've really warmed up the backs of the legs. I just want you to feel the difference, right? Inhale, lift your front ribs. Exhale, hang down. And then slide your hands down the outside edge. And I know it's slightly different because it's also inner thigh, but notice the availability of space in the back of the legs. Head hangs. You've got a firm grasp of your calf or ankles. Pull your chest through the midline. Feel for squeezing the sit bones on and then releasing them. Do that a few times. What does it feel like? And then gently release. Bring yourself down onto the mat and lie on your back. So, backs. Nice flat back. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Let's just do a supine twist. Take both legs long on the mat and draw your left knee into your chest. Really feel it hug down. Press through the length of your right leg. The heel pushes towards the floor. Right hand takes hold of left outside edge of thigh. Roll over yourself onto the right hip and come into a twist. Your left arm is in goddess, or if it's too much, you can reach the left arm sort of above the head. Notice where the position of the left knee is. Have it coming directly out of the left hip at a right angle. Soften the left shoulder blade to the floor. Big breaths into the upper back ribs. What feels like the right dosage of breath? And then inhale, come back. Straighten the left leg. Draw the right knee in. Feel for pressing the heel away from you. Take your left hand to outside edge of right thigh knee and draw it across, rolling onto the left side of the body. Right arm in goddess or above you. Breathe into the side ribs. Choose wisely for your breath pattern. Right? Don't let it get jaggedy, even though you're twisting. Soften out the edges. And then come all the way back to center and set up for Shavasana. So lie with these super long legs, and they do feel a little longer down the mat. Tuck your tailbone a little bit, shoulder blades shuffle away from ears. If you like, quite nice to end with right hand on low belly, left hand on heart center. Like you reconnect to the more intuitive areas of your body. And you keep choosing wisely, right? Keep choosing wisely for yourself today. Close your eyes, soften the jaw. The breath becomes softer, the back body becomes softer. start to slowly move your breath into the back ribs. So just think about that for a moment. What does that mean for you? What's the conscious choice you make to enable that? Move your hands, your fingers, your toes, your feet. Inhale, reach your arms above you. And as you exhale, hug your knees towards your chest. You'll roll side to side. And then very slowly roll onto one side. Pick a side that feels like the right choice this morning. Sometimes you're inclined one way or the other. Each day starts with a choice. A choice to walk the same path or to wake up and explore something new. When you can accept that to live is to change, the daily obstacles become less of a challenge. And delight can come from simple things. Baby steps, one change at a time. Very gently press up to seated. As in prayer at center of chest, take a slow breath, right? Notice where it moves. Particularly on the exhale, give yourself something back. That which is sacred in me honors and salutes that which is sacred in you. Namaste. Brilliant, thank you. Well done, Judith.